last night, I was recording a video with Colonel Kurtz, friend of the channel. She's fantastic. And the problem was we had tech issues, and I wanted to do a whole segment on Tom Cruise's speech at the Governor's Awards. He got his first Oscar. It's an honorary Oscar, but let's face it, if there's anybody in the world that deserves to be honored with an award like that, it's Tom Cruise. Not that I really believe that awards matter in Hollywood anyways. I don't think any normal person actually cares about what award shows give what awards to who. It's not a measure of what the public thinks of an actor anymore. If anything, it's a measure of how actors feel about other actors and how stuck-up, snobby Academy folk think of actors. But Tom Cruise is absolutely one of those performers that he transformed the business in an age now where it feels like the average everyday person doesn't feel connected to Hollywood or any of the art that Hollywood creates, where it used to be something that was supposed to tell stories that spoke to everyone. It seems like it's increasingly an industry that makes stories for nobody at all. Tom Cruise is kind of the exception to the rule in a lot of ways. We got into a little bit about Scientology and all of that, and my point about it was that it doesn't matter. You know why? Because Tom Cruise doesn't preach Scientology to me. That's not what he comes at when he's making his movies. He doesn't spend his time on the press tours, evangelizing his beliefs. No, he talks about the movie. He talks about the incredible work of the team that he works with to make his movies, and the focus is on the drama and the stunts and all of the beautiful things that actually make Hollywood good when it actually tries to be. The problem is it just usually doesn't try to be anymore. I want to listen to his speech here, and I want you guys to hear it. This is just an excerpt from it. I think it was a long speech, but let's just listen to this 2-minute part here, and then I want to kind of share some of my other thoughts because it's going to tie in to something at the end, which I'm hoping that Tom Cruise will either put the kibosh on or he has enough foresight to know that I am wrong with a prediction of mine. But let's go ahead and listen to this speech from Tom Cruise.
My love for cinema began when very early age. I mean, as early as I can remember. I was this little kid in this darkened theater, and I remember that beam of light. It just cut across the room, and I remember looking up, and it seemed to me that it just exploded on the screen. And suddenly, the world was so much larger than the one that I knew. Entire cultures and lives and landscapes, and all of it was just unfolding in front of me. And it sparked something in me. It sparked a hunger for adventure, a hunger for knowledge, a hunger to understand humanity, to create characters, to tell a story, to see the world. And it opened my eyes.
You know what he's not talking about here? He's not talking about the plight of modern day. He's not talking about the ways in which stories can teach you a lesson. He's talking about other cultures and storytelling in the same way that somebody would in times of old around a campfire, talking about the importance of passing down stories from one generation to the other. And that's the power of cinema, something that is increasingly not understood by the people within his own industry. But let's keep going.
It opened my imagination to the possibility that life could expand far beyond the boundaries that I then perceived in my own life. I remember being...
Again, today Hollywood seems so focused on the perception, like he said, the word perceived, the perception of just what exists in the here and now. Even the science fiction movies of today, like the trope is now that, even with the most fantastical elements, they've pared down science fiction so that it can be shot on a television budget. And when it's done on a large-scale budget, it's done with some type of allegory to modern-day American liberal or leftist issues like racism, sexism, misogyny, and it doesn't encapsulate that notion of wonder that brings all people in. And that's what cinema is supposed to do, is that at its largest scale, it should be bringing people together around, stories that everybody can get behind, rather than subverting expectations and putting us on to niche criticism that we have for modern day American culture, which is just so, first of all, it kicks out the rest of the world from your storytelling, because they're gonna be like, what are you talking about? I have nothing nothing to do with this. This doesn't resonate with me at all. And it makes you look self-involved when you're not trying to speak to everybody. But let's continue. At least that's my opinion. Let's continue.
As a little kid, I worked every job I could to earn the price of admission. You know, and when I didn't have enough, you know, I just figured out a damn other way to get in that theater, you know?
Well, they're doing that today, Tom. They're using, you know, other websites. They're not doing it in the theaters.
The cinema, it takes me around the world. And it helps me to appreciate and respect differences. It shows me also our shared humanity.
See, he's talking about things that bring people together, that allow people to coalesce around similar ideas, ideas of humanity, ideas of shared experience, because believe it or not, just the fact that we are on the planet together means we have a lot more in common than you might think. And that's what I feel like it used to be. Like in the old days, you know, when the celebrities would virtue signal, it would be something along the lines of like, we're all one people, can't we all just get along? And it is virtue signaling. It is. But it was something that didn't seek to push people out of the circle. Rather, it was supposed to be saying, perhaps in a very naive way, we can all find something to relate to together. We can all be one person. Was it naive? Yes, I believe so. But you are suicidal in your belief that going the other way is somehow good for humanity, because when we seek to exclude people on the basis of my race has experienced something different than yours, my gender, my sex has experienced something different from yours, therefore I seek to tell my story and turn you into an other, you start to fracture the populace. And that's going to keep happening, especially when Hollywood has a ready-made way of working on something like this, which is to tell stories that bring everyone together. When you watch Top Gun Maverick, for instance, and you watch a story like Top Gun Maverick, it's something that every single person alive could possibly resonate with. The idea that there is a man out of time, that this his experience has left him now in a world where technology has advanced, the world has advanced. He feels like he's out of place. Okay, everybody can attune to the idea of feeling like they're out of place. And maybe even if not you, you've had a relative, a mentor, somebody in your life that spoke to you, that perhaps at some point explained to you or related to the struggle that they felt like the world was now passing them by. And if it doesn't resonate with you now, you will see it in 10 years or 20 years and you'll be like, look, that's what happened to me, right? Like in 2 years, when every podcast is AI, I will have to be my own version of Maverick, right? And find your path in the world and keep pushing, because everything is changing and you don't really have a say in the matter. Tell stories that bring people together with a universal message.
Like we are in so many ways. And no matter where we come from, in that theater, we laugh together.
Yes.
We feel together, we hope together, we dream together.
All these things that he's talking about are seeking to bring people together, not divide them on bullshit lines of race, gender, ideology, any of that. This is why I will never give up on movies inherently, right? People keep saying Hollywood is dead, that it's going to end, we need to move on. And yes, in a lot of ways, Hollywood's problems, they have done to themselves with bullshit activists, with, you know, the funding of projects that are seeking to divide the population or turn everything into a narcissistic self-insert that doesn't speak to a wide audience. Bad storytelling is bad for Hollywood, absolutely. But when it's done right, and when the intentions of the creator are to bring everyone together around messages of humanity, that is something that I will always be able to get behind. And that's why I love going to the theaters still.
And that is the power of this art form. That is why it matters. That is why it matters to me. So, making films is not what I do, it is who I am. Please know that I carry you with me, each of you, and you are part of every frame of every film I have ever made or ever will make. And I want you to know that I will always do everything I can to help this art form.
There you go.
To support and champion new voices to protect what makes cinema powerful, and hopefully without too many more broken bones.
Okay. Okay, so this is the other main point that I wanted to make here. So, okay. When Tom Cruise speaks of these things, you can feel it in him that he believes so powerfully in his art form, that he believes so powerfully in what he does for a living. This is why, whatever his beliefs are religiously, it doesn't matter to me. In a capitalist economy, I am not looking for you to be my best friend. I'm looking for you to sell me on a product that I will want to spend money on. And his beliefs when it comes to the art of making cinema tell me, a customer, that I am more likely than not to be getting something that I'm going to want to purchase, right? Whether it's Top Gun, whether it's the Mission Impossible franchise, I know when I go into it that his love for the art form, that his desire to bring people together around these stories is absolutely something that will be the forefront of those movies. Now, I will say, I have my critiques. Like, for instance, I do believe that the last Mission Impossible movie, it almost turns his character into like a deity. And it's very, very funny. But the point is, you come together around the notion that you need to save the day, that time is running out, and that a hero can come through and save the day. That is not an overly complex message, but it is one that resonates with a lot of people. And when he comes on your screen before the movie, and this is why I think it matters the most, when he comes on the screen before your movie, and he sits in that chair, and right before the screen starts, he goes, this is Tom Cruise, and I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out to the theaters, for making what we do possible. You have to be willing to buy in. I always take actors with a grain of salt. I'm not looking to get 100% honesty from any of them, because I know that it's not even possible, right? You're in a business, you're putting your best foot forward. But with Tom Cruise, because he puts so much love into the craft, and because he is so unpretentious in his desire to bring everyone together into his movies rather than just speak to an elite few, I'm willing to buy into it. You know what I'm not willing to buy into? That somebody like Seth Rogen, who's an absolute dick, who absolutely feels as if he believes himself to be an elitist above middle America and above the rest of us who are the plebs who should be going to buy his movies. When he shows up on my screen before Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, I don't buy it. And I'm not willing to buy it. And I'm not going to be willing to give you the benefit of the doubt because you've done nothing to earn it. Tom Cruise has done everything to earn the benefit of the doubt as a Hollywood actor in an industry that most of the people in this space despise. Now, I will say, I have a little critique because there was something else that came up while he was at the award show, and that was from filmmaker Joseph Kosinski, who says that Top Gun Maverick 3 is now in the works, and I'm going to need them to put the kibosh on this. Let's listen to what he has to say.
He's brewing, yeah?
We're working on a sequel to Top Gun Maverick. Yeah. Obviously, that's in the works in the script stage right now. So
how close are we?
Well, that's a question for Mr. Aaron Kruger, who's currently at his laptop writing it as we speak.
Okay, so I don't think they should do this. I think that Top Gun Maverick was an aberration in that it told an unbelievably sweet story, one that could resonate with a large amount of the population, all those things that I described before. It's a man out of time. It is somebody that sees the world passing him by. Perhaps his best days are behind him. And it's wrapped in a love story. And the movie ends with a ballad. Like, when was the last time you saw a movie end with a love ballad and the guy getting the girl? It was an aberration that was beautiful in its creation, and it should stay that way. I don't need you to franchise Top Gun past 3. I know that Joseph Kosinski is also working on F1 Part 2, so F2. F1 with Brad Pitt was my favorite movie of 2025. A similar story, a story of an older man finding redemption in his art, in his, in his workforce and what he does for work, right? As a race car driver, it's a story of redemption, and it was beautiful, and I really, really enjoyed it. That was on top of the fantastic action in that movie. I believe that there is power in not seeking to make sequels from movies that have such a great singular story behind them. I understand that the industry as a whole feels that you must franchise and you must try to make as much money as possible from every piece of art you make, but selfishly, I would like to see them leave it as it was. I don't think it needs to be more than that. Perhaps Tom Cruise can do something about that, but the man, he loves his cinema and he wants to keep making it. If that means he gets to fly jets again, I think he's gonna make Top Gun 3. And like I said, I don't agree with it, but he will get the benefit of the doubt from me because I believe that he has earned it. Guys, let me know down below. I wanted to wax a bit poetic, I guess. It's kind of a meme on this channel that I love, Tom Cruise as much as I do, but I really do find his approach to filmmaking to be what actual inclusivity should be in the art form. It should not seek to divide people on racial or gender lines. It should seek to tell stories that speak to all of humanity and resonate with everyone so that nobody feels left out, which is oddly enough exactly what happens when people talk about inclusive storytelling. Let me know down below, guys. Do you agree with my assessment on Tom Cruise, or are you more wary? I would be interested to know. If you don't know what our podcast is, Pop Culture Crisis is live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is, of course, always noon Pacific. We will see you there, guys. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.